owner of the restaurant. And first of all, we hope you enjoyed the food, and we made our way all the way into the Al Bukhara. I'll hand it over to Qasim just to tell you his story. Because as I mentioned from Granada, that of course we can have food anywhere. And yes, the food is good here, but coming all the way here isn't just about the food. Obviously, we're learning the history. But also to end the tour, it's a nice way to end the tour to hear about Qasim's story, how he came to Islam and how he ended up here. So I'll hand it over to Qasim. Bismillah.
Can we record?
Yes. Okay.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
Thank you for coming.
But can you just stand there so we can see you?
Bring the chairs over here.
You guys should come here. Yeah, this side.
It's
Yeah.
okay here.
Yeah. Totally fine. Yeah. আপনারা এইদিকে চলে আসেন দরকার হলে।
Bueno, since I was young, I always was searching the spiritual way. For many years, I didn't like what is the Western society where I live, the relationship, the people. And I started to study different religions, to travel, Buddhist, more normal, many things, psychotherapy, a lot. And in one moment of my life, after studying many things, I find the Islam or the Sufi way. For me, it was a little shock, because after learning many different things, when I started to study the Sufi way of Islam, I was really surprised because I always have very bad publicity. For me, the Islam, since I grow, always was something negative. I never see something positive in Islam, even in the TV or whatever. Okay, in this time, after Twin Towers, the war of Iraq was a strong moment for the world, In one moment, I decided to become Muslim. I was traveling around Spain, I traveled a little bit, visit different communities, and in one moment I became Muslim. For me, the point was I discovered Orgiva in these journeys. Orgiva, the particular who have here, is the Muslim community here. We are all converts. We are from Italy, France, Germany, US. But the particular, all we have the same background. We born Christian in this society, and in one moment we decided to become Muslim. So I am from the north of Spain, from Bilbao. It's like 1,000 kilometers from here. And when I become Muslim, I have a little big problem because the family business when I was working was a restaurant. It's a restaurant. And this restaurant would sell alcohol and pork, normal restaurant, traditional in the Basque Country. But when I became Muslim, I talked with my parents and I said it's not possible to continue here, And I decided to become here and open a new halal restaurant here in this area, And the idea was good. Okay, I changed the pork and wine. I sell tea, very good, alhamdulillah. But for many years was a lot of struggles, because I think this society, the alcohol is cultural, everybody drinks. And you open a restaurant or a tea place with no alcohol, was hard. It was hard for many years. Tarek know from the beginning, all my struggles. But after 7-8 years, struggle, change this, change that, we do this and that. We become more and more popular, even in the media, many things. And when we say last 10 years, we become a part of the area. Everybody knows Baraka, everybody likes Baraka. Perhaps even the old people in town perhaps never come, It's like, Morris Place. But they are happy. They come, they say hello, they are happy because we don't give any problem. We don't ever talk bad about us, everybody is happy with us. You know, more or less is the story.
In a nutshell, it's a story, and it may just seem like a general story. Somebody converted, came, opened a restaurant, but there's a lot of meaning in Qasim's story, especially. There's a few things that I want to highlight. One is that he's being a little bit humble about his story, that he actually comes from a background where his grandfather started a very successful restaurant business. And that's all the way up in the north. Bilbao is one of the more rich, affluent cities in Spain.
It's the capital of the north.
Basque region, yeah.
It's the capital of all the north.
Of all that. And in the city center, they have this restaurant, successful business, and he's the only son. And he's supposed to inherit the business. And he was running the business, depended on him. But the moment he became Muslim, he realized that, okay, he can't be selling pork and he can't be selling wine, etc. So he went to his father and he said, this is the situation. His dad couldn't understand, what do you mean, okay, you become Muslim. I'm not happy with it, but okay, fine, you are Muslim, but you can carry on running the business. And he said no. He heard about a small community here in the middle of the mountains. He came, checked it out, opened the restaurant, and as he mentioned, I've known him right from the beginning when this place opened. And it was a struggle, because what you need to understand is is there any like business managers or advisors or anybody who's done like business in so if anybody came to you with a business idea, a great business idea, that he wants to open a halal restaurant in the middle of the mountains where there's no Muslims, and he's not going to sell alcohol and he's not going to sell pork, because that's the cultural. If you go for a meal here, and you have to have alcohol and you have to have pork. It's no restaurant is successful without that here. So if he came to you with this business idea for advice, say, this is what I want to do, in the middle of the Al-Bukhara mountains where there's no Muslims, nothing, and this is nothing, no mosque, no nothing. And my big bright idea is that this is the business I want to start. What's your advice?
You must be here. I'm not them. Don't do it.
Don't do it. But he did it. And it wasn't easy, and I've seen it, because who's going to come here? And the local people are going to say halal restaurant, Muslim restaurant, etc. Nobody's coming here. And it took years and years, and right from the beginning, alhamdulillah, we've tried to, every single group that we can possibly bring, we bring them. Of course for the food, but secondly because of the stories, because it's a huge lesson for us. He persevered, he persevered, he persevered. He wasn't making money, but he persevered. And then eventually, he didn't tell this part, but he like when things were going wrong, which is what a lot of us do, we're always looking to blame something else or somebody else, or this isn't why it's working. And I remember when the first time he told me, he said he was at home and he just looked in the mirror and he said, this business is mine, and if there's anybody to blame if something isn't going wrong, it's me. I need to look at myself and not anybody else. I can't blame my staff, I can't blame people outside, etc. And the other thing he thought about is that what kind of restaurant, because he tried Moroccan, he tried this, he thought, is it a Spanish restaurant, is it this, is it that? And thought, no, it's a halal restaurant. So it's a halal restaurant, and that's what it's going to be, that's what its identity is going to be, it's a halal restaurant. So what's a halal restaurant? What's a halal? Okay, what's a halal restaurant? Halal means you go, no alcohol, okay, you go in and you want to see a certificate where you're buying your meat from, etc. What's halal for you?
Well, in these many years of struggle, I learned many things. And I try to apply también what I was studying, why I become Muslim, no? Because in one way I have the same mind the other restaurant here, but they say, no, it's different, this is halal place. Because the parameters have to be other one. Entonces, I apply, or I don't know how to say, what is for me halal is more holistic vision. For example, one restaurant always give problems with the neighbors. People talk, this, smelling this. So have good relationship with the neighbors in one restaurant is very, very important. For example, here the economy in general in the south of Spain is low. Because many people don't pay good salaries. I said, I want to pay minimum normal salaries to my employees to do right, you know. The same with the food. You can find cheaper food or cooking fast, you know. No, I try to give healthy food, not super organic or this, but the most quality that I can, you know. Plus, I try to make like a more holistic vision of what is halal, you know, to apply more what I learned about Islam in my restaurant, you know. It was the key.
This was the key. When he started thinking like this, so halal isn't that you come to a restaurant and wait your certificate, is you meet halal. It's a holistic approach that for Qasim now is that he has neighbors here, and if his guests, his clients can't go outside and start making noise, and the neighbors are upset by this, his restaurant is not halal. If he underpays his workers and abuses them and makes them work long hours, his restaurant is not halal. The food, the ingredients that he finds, it's not that he's going to get it all the time, but he's going to make the effort to get as good as possible. When he cooks the food, he can use cheap stuff and he can take very, very quickly, get the food out and give it to everybody and have a fast food place. But no, it's not about that. That's just like cheating people then. So it's a holistic approach. The clients need to be happy, they need to enjoy the food, they need to leave happy. That's when he started to think that that's what a halal restaurant is and that's what I'm going to make. That's when the change started to happen in the business. Literally, that's when the business started to change. It became famous. Media started to come here. You can Google it. It's like Al-Faiz is the national newspaper of this country. Came here, did a whole report on it. You get foreign news outlets coming here doing reports on it. There's a cutout here. Which year was that?
Guardian.
4 years ago, the Guardian newspaper listed Baraka as one of the top 10 rural restaurants in the whole of Spain.
Wow, mashallah.
And now you have lots and lots of people come here, and it's become, even if Spanish people, some of the Spanish locals don't come here to eat, it's become part of their identity. Baraka has become part of the identity of Orgiva. The people of Orgiva are proud of having Baraka here.
Mashallah.
The non-Muslims, they are proud that we have Baraka here.
Mashallah.
So when he thought about that, and then he thought, right, okay, this is what halal means. It doesn't have to be a Moroccan restaurant, it doesn't have to be a Spanish restaurant. The identity of this place is halal. Okay, and since he's been doing that, alhamdulillah, it's gone from strength to strength. And may Allah give him more barakah.
Ameen.
And alhamdulillah, jazakallah khair for having us all. I mean, just think about it. I know maybe a lot of us haven't thought about it because we're so used to getting halal food and just going and getting the food on a plate. Look at where we've come. Where are we? In the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the mountains. And we've had, I think, delicious food.
Yes.
Served relatively quickly.
Yeah.
Look how many was there. Look at the kitchen. Look how big the kitchen is. Okay? And we've been able to pray, alhamdulillah. And all the staff here are European Muslims. People from somewhere in Europe. There's quite a few others that live here as well. So that's why we come here, that's why we come to Baraka. One is that there's lessons in Qasim's story itself, and also is a revival happening. You know, he's indigenous, he's from here. Not even from the south, he's from the north. The people who came and took this land from the Muslims. It's from those people. He's moved there, from there, opened a restaurant here, and now it's been how many?
More than 20 years.
22 years now. Around about the same time when I started doing the chores, Qasim opened this restaurant, about the same time. So, anybody have any questions for Qasim before we...